Hello and welcome to this screencast that's going to give you a nice overview of your Skyward Standards-based gradebook. Now, if you're watching this video, you should be teaching kindergarten, first grade, or second grade because your gradebook's going to look a little different from grades 3 through 12. Grades 3 through 12 have what we call a secondary gradebook. You guys, K through 2, you have what's known as a standards gradebook. So your gradebook's going to look a little bit different. So this set of videos, in fact we have a whole set of videos just for K through 2 teachers to show them how to operate their gradebook. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get the link to the gradebook login. That's going to be different from the financial or the teacher access one that you have accessed previously. So you need to get this link, then you need your login ID and password. And I'm going to log in as someone else because I do not teach K through 2 and I don't have any classes anyway, so I need something with classes in it. Now you might see this screen pop-up blocker, hit retry. It'll take you right in there. Alright, so this is your home screen. As you can see, there's all sorts of Skyward goodness on this screen. I'm going to point you to the four things that you're going to want to know the most about. You're going to come up here to Teacher Access. We're going to take a look at, in this video, my gradebook, my students, my classes, and attendance, because I think those are the places that you'll want to go the most. So let's start with my classes. Really what this does is it shows a list of classes. Now you guys have your blocks shown here. So you click on the first one, Language Arts, Class Options. It just gives you, obviously, your class options. Now obviously there's going to be stuff here later on as more and more information gets put into the system. So you can take a look at attendance, discipline, messages, all sorts of fun things for each class. So that's basically what the My Classes does. If you go back to Teacher Access and click on My Students, it pulls up a list of your students, their contact information, primary guardian. But if you want more information than that, just simply select the student, double click on them, and you'll see their lovely face because there's pictures there, and then their address and all sorts of other information that you would need to know. And again, tons of stuff over here that you can explore, but just showing you, in case you need student information, this is the place to get it. The other part I want to show you is post-daily attendance. I'm going to have a separate screencast just for taking attendance, but I want you to know this is where you'd go to take attendance every day. So you go to Teacher Access, Post Daily Attendance. And there's two ways that you can do that, by name or by seating chart. And we're going to talk more about that in another screencast, but just know that's where you go for attendance. We're going to take a look at My Gradebook now, which is probably the more complicated or the most complicated of the screens. So you're going to get a list of classes first when you click on My Gradebook. And you'll notice some of your classes say Standards Gradebook. We're going to take a look at that because, again, yours looks different than the secondary gradebook. So we're going to click on this first one here, Standards Gradebook. And the reason yours is called Standards Gradebook is because it's set up by standards. Now, I clicked Language Arts, so the only standards you're going to see here are the Language Arts standards. So let me show you how this is set up. Everything in the blue are where grades are calculated. Like here would be Term 1, Term 2. The final grade. Okay, there's another final section over there. So if you see blue, it's grade calculation. So this nice orangey salmony color, that's where you're going to actually see scores. If you notice right here, you'll see a whole bunch of 3s. That's the grade that I, judiciously gave everyone and generously gave everyone for this particular standard. If you hover over this, you'll see a standard pop up. It says subject, I know it's really tiny, I'll read it to you. It says subject language arts skill. Student knows and applies grade level phonics and word analysis skills in decoding words. If I hover over the next one, student determines meaning of words and phrases appropriate to grade level reading and content. So do you see these are all your language arts standards and they are all repeated for each term. So these are the same as term 1. These are the same as term 2 and these are the same as term 3. And you also have a section back here about final grades for each standard. So that's why yours is called a standards gradebook. Okay, so that's how your gradebook is set up, and we're going to go into more detail about that later, about assignments and putting things in there. But I just want to give you an overview. If you look across the top, you'll see you've got lots of options here. Some of them you're probably not going to use as much, maybe like expert, maybe quick scoring, but you've got other access here. If you look there, you can see you can access curriculum maps, yay, lesson scheduler, and you're going to get more information about this later. You can see your classes. Now events for you guys are like assignments. Okay, so that's how you would add an event. It's like an assignment for you. Again, a different screencast for that. You can add comments. You can also take attendance from this screen if you'd like. You've got grade marks, reports that you can pull up, lots of different reports. How do you want things to display, student, events, grade period, etc. And again, like I mentioned, quick scoring and export. So that's really the basics of Skyward I think that you're going to need to know. I mean, there's tons of other stuff in here, but my gradebook, my students, my classes, and attendance, I think are the 4 areas that you would need to start in, especially before the first day of school. So that's an overview. In our next screencast, we're going to talk about attendance, and we're also going to talk about assignments for everybody. Okay, so see you then.